Hey, what's up guys? Andrew from American Musical Supply here at NAMM 2022, and I'm here with Steve, the Blackstar amplification booth. How you doing?
All good, man. Great to be back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I know these products just dropped, these amps, and they're super hot and and popular right now. So it'd be great if you could give us a rundown of
course, yeah.
the St. James series.
This is St. James, yeah. It's a brand new range for Blackstar. It's our flagship model currently. They're all tube. There's two models, EL34 model and a 6L6 model. And they're available in 1x12 combo or two heads and upright vertical 212. It's a very interesting project. It's taken about 3 years R&D, and we really wanted to dive into, let's try and make the lightest tube amp in the world, which is a big thing that a lot of people have been asking for years. I know I've been in this industry 25 years, and the amount of times I've heard people say, I love my tube amp, but it's so darn heavy. It's something we all have dreamed about, hopefully. So this is the reality. There's three places that we've reduced the weight, essentially. The transformer, the wood, and the speaker. The speaker is designed by Celestion. It's called a Celestion Zephyr, and it's a lightweight ferrite magnet speaker. It's a true speaker, and it's based and voiced around a vintage 30. A lot of people pick up the amps and feel the weight, and they immediately assume it's a neodymium, but it's not. It's a true Celestion speaker exclusively for this range. A lot of R&D went in for them as well in this project. So that's the first thing. The wood, we've chosen a really lightweight wood. It's a candle nut ply. So it's really great for acoustic properties, but also it's light and strong. And lastly, the transformer, that's the big deal really. So we're using our own design SMPS switch mode power supply, which has reduced the weight a lot. Obviously, a big part of the weight of a tube amp is that heavy duty coiled old school transformer. So what's important for people to understand out there is that all the current draw, all the voltage you need to run a tube amp is absolutely 100% there from our design. We've got a patent applied for on the whole chain of DSP, SMPS, what's going on with these products. So it's really, really exciting for us. It's taken away a lot of the weight. So another cool thing about these amps is they have dual pot EQ and dual reverb. So what that means is that on channel 1, the reference for that is very much a West Coast F-style, clean, lots of headroom, great pedal platform. So if you're a pedal guy or a pedal girl, any of these amps are going to work really great for your pedal board. Channel 2 of the EL34 is more of a vintage feeling 60s chime. What happens on the EQ on that is it kind of turns into an AC30 top boost, essentially. That's the reference tone. Obviously with Blackstar, the beauty about what we do is in the refinement of what we feel is that classic reference tone. So this is going to be your F style and your V style. Over here to the 6L6, much more high gain, much more modern feeling. So cascading high gain on channel 2, two voices, and a really clean front end. Also, we've got a built-in reactive load, so you can actually design in accurate detail your direct tone. If you're going from USB for recording into your DAW, if you're going XLR or line out, if you're on a silent stage, if you're on in-ears, if you're in an orchestra pit, for the first time you could actually take a 50-watt tube head without a cab, without a load, and run it on a silent stage with your pedals, and everything from the preamp, the power amp, your tone stack, and speaker load is all going direct out. We're calling it Cab Rig. It's our Cab Rig software. You've got a choice of around about 30 cabinets, 6 mics that you can move on or off axis on the speaker. You've got room ambience. It's not reverb per se, but it's room mic ambience to make the feel of the room either small or large, depending on how you want it to feel. Loads of EQ possibilities, and you can store locally on your machine, whether it's a Mac or a PC, as many of those presets as you like, but you can actually store 3 Cab Rig locations to your head or your combo. Gotcha. It's a really unique product. We're loving it, sounds great, the response has been amazing, and of course, most importantly, they're really, really light.
Awesome. Wow. Well, I think we're going to hear some tones in a moment, right?
Let's do it.
Okay. with Paul Stevens, who's the chief engineer for Blackstar. And how you doing, Paul?
Great, yeah, we're having a good show.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I know Steve kind of gave us the rundown of the features on the tube side, but you're going to talk a little bit about the software side, right?
Sure. Yeah. Obviously, yeah. Steve was showing these amplifiers as the way they'd be used as a normal amplifier live. But that is only half of what these products can do, really. There's a whole other side to them which is kind of hidden. Now, each of them has got an inbuilt reactive load, so you probably noticed that these aren't connected to any cabinet at all. So when they're in silent mode, which is the standby mode, and they're not connected to an external speaker, then the signal is directed into the internal reactive load, which then loads the amplifier just the way a speaker load would. And it means that the whole power stage, the valves all respond the same way. The whole of the signal path is used just the same. So it's the tube preamp, tube power amp, the output transformer, everything's just the same, but then directed into the reactive load. After that, it goes into what we call cab rig, which is our own DSP. The DSP team have done a great job on this, and you can use it on its own. We've got 3 presets on the rear panel which you can select between, which give 3 really good versions of a cabinet and room tone. But if you want to dive deeper into it, by connecting via USB, we have the Architect software here. Now, this obviously shows 2 different cabinets that you can have at one time. I can then choose from other cabinets. There's 24 variations, including a straight DI, but the rest are all variations of 10s and 12s, all different formats. The names kind of give away or hint at all the kind of sounds, British or American kind of thing, whatever. So you've got a lot of options there. It's really easy to use. I must stress this is not IRs. This is our own system, which has been developed in-house. There's way lower latency. There's barely any latency at all, and much easier to use. It means that the player can get on and actually make some music rather than be messing around with presets. So yeah, they've got a choice of cabinet. They've also got choice of 6 different microphones, 2 dynamic, 2 condenser, 2 ribbon. Each of them can be on axis or off axis. Again, the software team have done a really nice job of showing what the microphone is, how it's being used. All these all change depending on what you're actually using. It's dead simple to use. We haven't even got an operating guide for this yet. We're going to write one, but barely need it. It's self-explanatory. You look at it and you point the cursor and you use it, So then we've got a separate master EQ, which is really handy if even needed, because it's already been tuned. You can select then the room that you're putting the amp in. Now this is different from the reverb that's on the amp. So that works as normal amp reverb, how you'd expect. Although it does change per channel, which I'm sure Steve may have already mentioned. This is more about that amp in a certain room, which is a different kind of effect. So this is to give you more of a stereo imaging and more ambience. So you've got obviously small, medium, large rooms, different damping, different options there. You can set the master level, and then each of these presets, once they're done, can be saved. We have some Blackstar presets. Yeah, the default ones here are already included when you buy the product, and you can easily select these, or you can overwrite and do your own versions and overwrite the ones in the product itself. So you've still got 3 to choose from really instantly, and you don't then need to be connected to a computer to do that. Some people will probably just use the amp on its own. It's fine, but people that want to delve deeper can go into the Architect software and really fine-tune it. In fact, we have a track here on Logic, which one of our product developers did, and it was basically using one sound of the amp, and only changing the cab rig. And it's quite remarkable in showing how much you can get different tones for different textures within a recording. I'll just run this slightly. So he basically did that as a demo of the Department 10 pedals, but it has the same or similar kind of version of cab rig built in that these have. But it just shows how flexible it is in getting all different tones from the same basic amp sound. And yeah, obviously cab rig now is we're putting that in more and more products. This is the first Valve product we've put it in, and well, hopefully it's going to add to the general flexibility of the product as well as the, you know, the movability.
Awesome.
So I hope that explained it all right.
Yeah, thanks so much for that explanation. If you're interested in finding out more about the St. James amplifiers from Blackstar or any other Blackstar product, you can head on over to AmericanMusical.com.